Hi everyone! So first off, thank you everybody for watching my video and for sharing your experiences. And honestly, as of now, of me filming this update, the first video has gotten about 2,700 views, which is about 2,600 more than I thought I would get. I really didn't think it would reach that many people, but I'm really extremely grateful for everyone that's been sharing it and sharing with me some of your experiences. So as you can probably tell from this title, this is going to be an update video. So if you haven't already, please click over here. It should be on one of these sides, I'm not too sure. Clearly this is a new camera setup. That will link you to the very first video. And then in this one, I'm going to be talking about, again, I have a laptop, so I'm just going to be looking over here if it looks like I'm looking off the screen. But in this one, I'm going to be talking about some of the suggestions that I've been given, the response that I got from Hyundai Canada, and what I was told when I went into the dealership to ask for copies of all my sales documents. So let's begin with some of these suggestions. So in my last video, I had mentioned that I sent it into CBC Go Public and Mississauga News. So since then, a lot of people suggested that I also contact someone named Pat Foran at CTV. So unfortunately, I tried multiple times to submit the form online. It just kept getting stuck at this screen that you see on the video right now, saying that it was submitting the form. And I've tried it on Chrome, I tried it on Edge, nothing worked. So what I did instead was put it on Twitter. I tagged him, I tagged CBC, tagged BBB. So my Twitter is public right now. If you want to retweet that or share my tweet, link is in the description box below. Also, as of today, this morning, someone did contact me and give me Pat's email. So I have sent him an email directly as well. So thank you so much for giving me that contact information. I really appreciate it. And I mentioned the Better Business Bureau as well in the tweet, which is, I'm going to refer to it as the BBB just because it's a little easier. So the BBB also helps consumers and businesses, and they have very specific criteria, which I'll put up on the screen here for the kinds of complaints that they do. And I just kind of found it funny, but also sad that they had to specify no abusive language as part of their criteria. But I have also submitted a complaint there. And one other suggestion that I got throughout this whole process was to look at OMVIC. So that's OMVIC. So OMVIC is Ontario's vehicle sales regulator, and they handle complaints specifically with dealerships. So a few of my friends in the industry said that OMVIC is very important just because they also govern the dealerships and they need to be licensed through OMVIC in order to be able to sell the vehicle. So OMVIC themselves have their own process for filing a complaint. They ask you first to speak with the dealership directly and let them know what you want as your resolution, which I have done. The second step is that you send in a registered letter. So it has to be sent through registered mail. And I'm not sure if they specifically need registered mail or as long as there's a tracking number, because they do need to make sure that you put a timeline at the end. I'll get to that in a bit, but I sent it through registered letter just because that's what they said and I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. So in that letter, you can either send it to the general manager of the dealership or to the owner of the dealership, depending on who you know contact of. In my case, I chose to do both because my dealership's owner is kind of very public. You can Google it, you know who he is. So in this letter, in the very last paragraph, you need to specify what resolution you are looking for and give them a time frame for a response. So for example, you can say, I'm looking for a response from you between 5 to 7 business days from the date of receipt. And because it is registered mail, you can always track it online to see exactly when the letter got delivered. So if the dealership or the owner does not reach out to you, OMVIC can then step in and assist. So now let's move on to the juicy part of where Hyundai finally reaches out to me. So the video was on Saturday morning, and that's when I started sharing it. Monday, June 29th at 8:44, Hyundai Canada responded to my post on their Facebook page. They asked me in that post, the little comment, to give them my contact information. So because I had mentioned I already looked into OMVIC, and for OMVIC's letter, they also want you to send in all the relevant documents. So anything that you've signed that, or like service invoices that can help you with your case, they want you to include that in the letter as well. So I waited to go to the dealership first, gather all the documents, make sure I had everything correct before I contacted Hyundai Canada. So this leads to a second part of this story. I called into the service department because they're open before sales, and service was great. They had all of my documents ready for me, all printed out, just ready to hand to me the second I came in. Sales side, however, was a nightmare. So I went in right when they opened, and when I went in and I asked them for the documents, it took them 50 minutes to get me copies of everything that I had signed for my sale. They told me that it was because it was in the back, and I guess they didn't think to check in the back. But all they were able to get me were my credit application, my bill of sale, and my finance confirmation. So the one that tells me, this is what you're financing for your car, these are your rates, this is what your monthly payments are going to be. So I asked them for a copy of my delivery certificate. And I will put a picture of the copy that I have here on the video. So the director of sales was the one that had come out and given me the forms, and he said that they were not able to find the delivery certificate. And I specifically asked them for this document because I remember that I had signed one copy, and I remember signing another copy where it looked like a delivery certificate, except at the very bottom, the service or the sales manager had written that the check engine light was on, and he pointed it out to me as I was signing it. But I didn't have a copy of that. So I went into the dealership hoping to get a copy of what they had. They told me that they didn't have it, and that they couldn't find it in the back, and that since that old sales manager had left months ago, he hasn't been in contact with the dealership either. So personally for me as a consumer, how come I have a copy of something that is signed by both me, the sales rep, and the sales manager, but the dealership doesn't have a copy? At the very bottom of it, it clearly says that there's supposed to be a copy for the customer, a copy for sales department, and a copy for the service department. And they're telling me that they were not able to find a copy of my delivery certificate. I've also talked to a couple people that are in this industry and people that have worked as a receptionist at a dealership. And they told me that they shouldn't have misplaced the document, or they shouldn't have been able to not find it, because every dealership keeps at least 2 copies of every single document. So moving on, another reason why I wanted it was, again, this is my copy of the delivery certificate. So the main thing I want to point out is the very top section where it says the quality control check. So you see on my copy, it's been left blank. So on paper, it looks like there has been no quality check that was done with my vehicle. They also weren't able to give me their copy to show me anything different. So I'm pretty sure it shows the same thing. So after getting all my documents ready, I reached out to Hyundai Canada, and this is a screenshot again where I'm reaching out to them, giving them my information. They reached out to me at 8:44. I responded back at 11:23 through DMs. At 3:20 p.m. they replied back saying that someone would reach out to me shortly, and that was on June 29th. It is now July 1st. They haven't replied back to me. I commented on their post yesterday and I said, hey, it's been over 24 hours. When is someone going to be reaching out to me? Because I can't just sit waiting at my phone the whole time for them to call back. And to this day, I still have not reached a call. So I guess right now it just still feels like this hasn't really gone anywhere. Yes, it's gotten the attention of Hyundai. Yes, it's gotten the attention of the dealership themselves, because the dealership's Facebook pages also responded back to me, but their response was that, hey, I see you've been talking to the director of sales. It's already being handled. There's nothing more I can do on my side. The only positive thing out of this update, I guess, so far is the fact that when I went to get the documents, the owner himself was coming into the dealership to bring donuts for the guys that were working. I was able to stop him and let him know, like, hey, I really needed to talk. He told me to speak to the director of sales, because the director of sales is basically who handles everything. And I told him, no, I don't want to speak to the director of sales because I've already tried and that's gotten me nowhere. So he told me to go into reception and make an appointment, and he'll reach out to me no later than Thursday, because he had to just run off to an appointment. So I said, okay, that's not a problem. Went back in. She was busy helping another customer, but before she had time to really ask me what happened, he came back in to make sure that the receptionist would book an appointment with me. So today is Wednesday, July 1st. Which means that by tomorrow latest, I should have a call with him. And I'm really hoping that this is going to resolve something. But this is kind of just like a short update to, let everyone know these are the suggestions I've had been given if you guys are in a similar situation. These are the kind of struggles that I'm going through, and I guess for me, I've been hearing a lot of feedback from people that are sharing my video, and a lot of people are suggesting that I should just bring the car in to get a more reliable car, something such as like a Toyota Camry or a RAV4 or a Honda. So I feel like I should clarify why I picked the car that I did. Not that I really should need to, but for me, I really didn't want to get a gas car. I really wanted something that I could at least be a plug-in hybrid that's more fuel efficient. I wanted to go full electric. Honestly, I would have gone for the Kona electric, but I had been on the waiting list for, it was November, December, January, February. It was 4 months, and there was still no updates on when the car would be delivered. So that's when I started looking into the Ioniq. But if it was up to me, I would be getting something full electric. So the Camry and the RAV4, those were not something that I would consider, even though I would have liked an SUV. If the RAV4, for example, came in a plug-in hybrid, that would be a different story. But as of right now, the RAV4 is just a regular hybrid. I can't charge the car, so that wasn't something that I was considering. But yeah, that is all I really have to update. I'm still going to be sharing that video, and I really hope that it continues to get more views. I hope that this video now holds them accountable, because they have said, and it is public, like it's on their Facebook page, they have said that they are going to reach out to me, and I'm still waiting. And the owner of my dealership said that he would get back to me no later than Thursday, so we will see what happens. I have also sent out my letters in registered mail as of Monday, I believe. Yes, as of Monday I've sent them out. So the delivery estimate is supposed to be this Friday, but obviously with everything happening with COVID, Canada Post is a lot, like really backed up with all their delays. So we will see what happens then, and I will give everybody another update once I actually hear something back, or if something doesn't happen. And I hope you guys are all staying safe. I'll see you next time.